Hey, Scotty.
Hey, is this Jesse?
It's Jesse. How are you?
Oh, that's good. That works out well. It's Scotty and Bret's here too.
Hey, Jesse.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Nice to meet you over the phone.
Yeah, man.
You as well.
Yeah, it's been a while. How you been? What have you been up to?
I've been making music. I've been traveling. I've been got back from Mammoth. I did a little ski trip on my birthday, and
Dude,
I just woke up.
This is crazy. We had the same birthday, and I went snowboarding for my birthday, and you went skiing for a ski trip for you. Where'd you go on your ski trip?
We went up to Mammoth.
Oh, that's what you just said. Yeah. I didn't know where Mammoth was. I didn't know exactly what that was. So I'm not gonna lie. That's awesome.
It's a California ski spot.
Oh, okay.
Are you good? Or you just do it for fun?
I'm a pretty good skier.
Yeah?
I was in ski school when I was like 3. So
Wow,
I was like
okay.
one of those, my parents would dump me in ski school so they could ski. So I'm all right.
You get rid of the kid. You're like, I'm gonna write a song about this, mom and dad. One day, you guys left me here. I'm all lonely. That's awesome, man.
Right.
That's really fun. What have you been up to the last 4 years or so?
So the last 3.5 years, obviously, I kind of disappeared from music for a little bit, and I was after the last album, I took about a year and a half off just to kind of decompress. I've really been making music for 12 straight years without a break, and for me, I just needed to sort of clear my head, to travel, to kind of read, to learn how to cook, to do things that I've always wanted to do that I never had a chance to do.
Like live a normal life?
Yeah, so just kind of do some, just get some perspective. And then about a year and a half ago, my buddy called me and asked me to come join this country songwriting camp down in Nashville.
I saw something about that. Yeah, tell me about that.
So I was down in I flew down to Nashville to do this sort of Nash pop songwriting camp. And it was a combination of pop writers and country writers from around the country to come to Nashville and sort of write as many country songs as possible to pitch to country artists. And it's something I had never done before. And I decided to fly down there. And after about 2-3 weeks, we had 12, 13 country songs.
Jeez.
And it was just one of the most inspiring experiences in music I'd had in a while. And that was sort of the catalyst for me to get back in the studio and work on my own project. I flew back to LA and I was like, you know what? I feel like it's time for me to do my own thing and sort of get back on the saddle, so to speak. And so that's when I went in and started working on my new stuff.
What's that process like? The average person doesn't understand what that even means. So you go to this big convention and everyone just gets into a room and starts writing songs. How do you do you get picked up with different people? Do you just randomly start writing? Do you pitch ideas? What's the process like?
Yeah, so you fly, you basically, essentially you're getting into a studio space with usually writers you've never met before. And the idea is to sort of it's like an intensive writing training kind of thing where you write a song a day.
Jeez.
For as many days as you can. And with the goal being to finish a song. Because oftentimes, especially in pop music, you'll work with writers and you'll work on a song and you'll write a half of a verse and then you'll be like, all right, guys, see you tomorrow. And it could carry on for weeks with one song.
Oh,
so it's really hard. It's really hard to do. So you'll go in, you'll write one song a day with an entirely new group of writers every day.
Is it hard creatively to be on the same page?
Totally.
Yeah,
I
totally.
mean, you walk out of there and, most of the songs aren't good. And then you have one or two, and then you have maybe one or two or maybe 3 that are really awesome, that are incredible.
That's interesting.
So, the idea is, just to never stop, just to constantly keep your wheels turning and sharpen your tools and just kind of come out of there turning music over. And it was one of the coolest. I mean, it definitely made me a better writer.
Any hits come out of it? Any country hits?
There was a few country hits that came out, or a few country records that got recorded by some big artists. None of mine were recorded.
None of them.
But none of mine. But there was probably 50 or 60 songwriters,
right?
And maybe over 100 songs were written. And so I think a few of them got published, but
cool.
They're still being pitched. But more than anything, what it was kind of a moment for me to get back into the studio and sort of just get back onto the writing train. And so, yeah, that kind of became the beginning of this project.
It's like a room full of people that are like, all right, who had the worst things happen to them in their life? Raise your hand. Let's write about it. Just throw them out there.
No, I mean it's a little awkward at first because you don't know anybody. You know, you're like, oh hey, nice to meet you. Let's write a song. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, what you get is just like inspiration from a person you've never met before. So it's cool.
I love your the sound of the new song, "The Better With You," because it's very classic you, very classic Jesse, and then it has that hook that kind of almost drops into the new dance kind of style. But first question, what's that? And I was asking everyone in the studio because I heard it and I love it. What's the sound in there? It almost sounds like a banjo plucking, like in the hook. You know what I'm talking about?
It's actually just an acoustic guitar. It's
just acoustic.
Taylor. Yeah, and it might have a little bit of like maybe it's like a little extra reverb or something on it to kind of give it a more of a vibe. But you know, it's funny. Like that guitar part was to me like kind of the hook in itself.
Yeah.
You know, even as much as like the actual lyrics. So that song was kind of the first time once I got back into the studio and started, was decided I was going to do like a new pop project. That was one of the first songs written, and it was written at a time where it was like really crazy in the world, everything socially and politically.
Still is, yeah.
Division, it was just a lot of division in the country, and it was just kind of a song to maybe bring people together, make people feel better, because I didn't feel good at the time. I know a lot of people didn't, and it was just like something to just, something positive, and out came Better With You, and it was a song that, we'd worked on for about a month before we could get the production where we wanted it, and I'm really excited about this one.
The music video is super creative too. It's showing the two different versions of you, and then the end is kind of crazy as well.
Yeah, so the video is kind of like a butterfly effect.
It's like the chain of events.
It's like something as incidental as like a quarter falling out of this girl's purse.
There it is.
I know
Go ahead, sorry.
No, it's all good. You have something as incidental as a quarter, falling out of this girl's purse and hitting this guy's boot, and he turns and he sees the girl, and then at the end, the quarter rolls by and he never sees her at all.
Exactly.
It's just kind of show how like, something as incidental as a quarter dropping can change the course of his, relationship. So it's a fun video. I'm excited about it.
I don't know if you and your girlfriend Katie, right? Still Katie? Just double checking. Yeah. I don't know if you guys could be any cuter, man. Is there any truth to how you guys met and how that came? Do you feel like there was like a chain of events that you're like, holy cow, that was crazy, that influenced the song?
Well, I mean, the video is definitely inspired by my relationship with Katie. Just to be clear, the girl in the video is Danielle Campbell.
Right, that's not Katie.
Yes, but I mean, for sure. I mean, Katie and I have been together almost 5 years now, and I think the whole concept was inspired by that. And the thing about making a video like that is it's hard to make it look authentic and believable without like a big slice of cheese,
Yeah.
Without it looking really cheesy. And Danielle was really good at sort of executing that. She came in.
She was great in it. Yeah.
She's an actress. And she'd been behind the lens before, and we're trying to show a relationship over the course of 5 years, and we're doing it in 2 days of shooting.
Well, I love that you have I think Katie's been through that process, like from when you kind of backed off from music before that, it's getting crazy, backed off, and now you're coming back in all those years. Have you now you're jumping back in like that pop world? Have you seen what's different, over the past couple of years? The world has changed. The climate of the entertainment industry has changed. What have you seen that's different from now you getting back into it?
Yeah, well, music has changed a lot too, obviously, and and the way people experience and consume music has changed
big time. Yeah.
So you kind of adjust accordingly, and you do have to keep up because it's constantly changing. Like it'll be completely different again next year, I'm sure. I mean, you just kind of the one thing that doesn't change is the creative. The artistic part of it doesn't change, and then you can tweak as you go. I think the biggest positive thing that's changed is social media, and just the fact that we have so many different outlets now as artists to be able to share our music with the fans and get a direct sort of direct feedback from them on what they think.
Whether you want it or not, right?
Well, you're not working with a label, right? You're doing it on your own.
Yeah, I'm doing it completely on my own. And
Well, is that why? Why are you doing it on your own? Because I just said this statement, to be clear, in the studio the other day. Like, nobody really wants to do it on their own. They all want to work with a record label. So why? What's the decision to do it on your own?
Oh, see, I disagree. I think more now than ever, a lot of artists are finding that despite it being a little bit more work.
Yeah, it's a lot more work.
It's yeah. I mean, listen, I have a team around me, and that I trust, that I love, that I've been working with for years, and together, like, I'm the face of the operation, but together we're sort of, doing this thing together, and they're really pulling all of the weight in terms of like the marketing and the advertising.
Right.
Obviously it's more of a financial thing because I got I'm footing the bill for everything.
I was going to ask who pays for it then.
That's what makes it so hard. Yeah.
At the end of the day, I got to pay for it, but there's nothing more rewarding than like investing in yourself and investing in your own art. And then, by the way, at the end of the day, when it comes back, it doesn't have to go through a whole label system. The
right.
check comes straight to me. So at the end of the day, it's also really creatively liberating, where no one's standing over your shoulder and saying like, hey, this is, we're not going to do this and this is why, or we're going to wait 5 months and test the song before it comes out. Now with social media, I can say, hey guys, what do you think of this song? And they're like, we hate it. Don't
right.
put this out. Or we love it. This is definitely an amazing record. And you get, I don't know, it's an amazing tool to have that. And I think you couldn't really do that as a signed artist anymore.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of artists in the mainstream actually also they're just deciding to kind of take it on their own, and it is a lot more work, but
yeah.
it's also a lot more rewarding, I think.
You see like and you even said, how music changes and evolves, and like your sound even, has evolved, like dropping that hook that is kind of in a little trendy now, but you have your own creative view. Is that a conscious decision, or is that kind of a product of like your environment? Do you go, hey, this is what's hot right now, or this is just, hey, this is what?
No, I think that, the song is kind of a nice balance of look, I mean, at the end of the day, it's pop music, and you kind of have to take in consideration that, it's 2018, and what I do is, or what I did for this song is try to balance the two. I mean, I want it to sound like contemporary production. I don't want the production to sound super dated and old. I try to use the freshest sounds that I can, but also try to stay true to the song.
Yeah.
And I think the song it does tickle sort of a nostalgic bone. Just the lyrics,
definitely,
the melody in general. It does sound very reminiscent of like the Beautiful Soul days or something, lyrically, and it's just a very sweet sort of positive message. And then, like, we had the opportunity with the guitar to use an organic instrument and produce the guitar in a way that sounds still organic, but has like a very sort of driving force feel in this drop. And look, I knew it wasn't going to be a dance song. It's not, but I wanted it to have an uplifting sort of driving forward feel. And, that sort of like 4 on the floor kind of vibe can do that. So it's, it's definitely a conscious decision. We thought about that stuff for weeks before we decided on what production we were going to land on,
Yeah, a lot of people are, especially pop artists now, are evolving into the ones that you kind of grow up with are evolving into this, doing things that are, hey, this is what I feel, this is who I am. Now you look at like the Justin Timberlakes, and that's why I asked you about the popular sound, because his sound is totally different, and at the end of the day, didn't sell as many albums, period. And maybe that's not what it's about for him. But like you said, at the end of the day, it's a pop song. So where does that, because like, where's that boundary come in?
And to piggyback off what Scotty's saying, Justin has the luxury because he works for that big machine that it's happening. He's not footing the bill. So you're like, hey man, I gotta make a record that I feel artistically proud of, but I need it to sell too. So whatever was popular, I almost have to kind of forfeit what I think. What is going to sell, I have to sell it.
But it sounds like you found a cool balance in that too. You feel like it's balanced?
I do. I mean, I think it is. I mean, and when you hear the rest of this EP too that we're going to put out, it has, it has I think a topical feel. There's some things that we're talking about on this record that are current and have to do with today's times. And I feel like more than ever that that is pop music. You know,
Yeah.
this generation wants people to have a voice and wants people to talk about stuff that is real. So to me, outside of production aside, I think that to me is more of what a pop song
Cool.
means today in
I love it.
2018 is like,
What-
you know, being real and authentic.
Are you hinting at political then, or where are you at then with those issues then?
Well, I mean, you know, I without getting into politics,
Sure,
I say
sure.
on the radio, but I think that, you know, it's about talking about social. There's a few songs that talk about sort of social issues and things that just have weight to them, that aren't just, you know,
Yeah.
fluffy sort of I love you songs. I mean, there's you know, Even Better With You has that sort of that weight to it.
Even
where
the
it's
first
like you can
lines in the
feel
song. Yeah.
yeah, you can feel the weight of the world, you know, and I think that everyone feels like it's a super contentious time. Everyone's at each other's throats, and you know.
So, do you feel like
I don't
your
get-
message is more putting people together? Because that's the message I got in Better For You. Like Eminem just released an album, and like 6 of the songs are not about putting people together. It is clearly taking a side. He has drawn the line in the sand, and it is on the liberal side. Are you taking a side, or are you more like, guys, understand each other's sides, and I'm more of a middle ground?
I'm trying to find a middle ground. I'm
Okay.
also trying to find a 3.5-minute moment where people can just take a break from what's happening
Awesome.
and just kind of enjoy music for a second. And I just sort of kind of tie the two together. And I think a couple
It's
of
not easy to do.
songs do that. It's not easy to do, you know, but I think that music is as much of an escape sometimes as it is a reality. And I try to bring those two together, is allow people to sort of take a break for a second from what's going on in the world, but all the while addressing a couple of social things that are happening.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Oh,
without
okay.
giving too much away, because we're releasing it
Sure.
later this year, but it was a balancing act. And I
I
think
get it, man.
today, more than outside of production, that is what pop music is going to be this year and in the years to come. It's
Yeah.
just total transparency.
At least for the next 2 years.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
well,
It's
we,
true, though.
we
I
talk
mean,
about it all the
that's
time because I mean we do a top 40 radio show and when it talks like politics aren't just politics anymore. I mean we have a celebrity president. You have social issues that are in the demo. You know it's like it's everything has shifted from the kind of conversations you can have, and it sounds like it's for you in the songwriting too. It's kind of the same deal, which I'm excited. But do you have a name for that EP yet?
No, I do not. But so what we're doing right now is we're releasing sort of like one song at a time.
Yeah.
And Better With You. The way it started performing, we decided to kind of continue our efforts with it before we decided to put out the second song. But that's probably going to happen in the next couple months, and then at that point, we'll either put out the full EP or we'll continue releasing one at a time. There's no rules anymore, you know.
Yeah,
like we're
for
just
sure.
kind of
Nope.
going
Yeah.
with the flow, and that's another benefit to being the label. You kind of just
Yeah.
I was gonna say when you're the boss, you make the rules. Yeah.
Right.
That's great, man. Well, we're excited that you're back, man. We think you're super talented, and we were talking about it
appreciate it, man.
the last week or so. And we're excited to just hear from you again. So you got to promise when you either come to Dallas or put out that second song, you come hit us up right away.
I'd love to, man. That would be awesome. I love it down there, so I'll definitely hit you guys up.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right, Jesse, man. We
All right,
appreciate it.
guys. Thank you so much.
I'm gonna tweet
Look-
you. All right.
Right on.
Later, brother.
Bye, guys.
Bye.